Don't be intimidated by criminal threats.
Show us what you got. I'm gonna knock you all on your asses.
Never run from a real fight. If you don't stop, you'll get us sued.
Welcome to the future. Transferring to autopilot mode.
It's confirmed, milady. We're under attack.
So it begins.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry if you can hear me or not. Let's see, because we're having some technical difficulties. Every time I hit everything, the entire screen goes black all of a sudden. It worked fine in testing. It is working. It's just not going to give us any visual whatsoever. I am sorry for that. Hope you're all having a pleasant evening. Today, and following with some requests from backers, we are going to be doing more streaming. What you will start seeing now is bi-weekly. We will do a stream talking about comic books, lore, talking to other creators, artist showcases, some other very fun facets. Let's see why it's doing this. It just refuses to cooperate today. Okay. Well, the audio is coming through, so I'll have to do. Luckily, you don't need to see my face to know what's going on. I am bringing on today, guys, Christyle Inc. He is a comic creator who makes some very good comics. And if you're not familiar with them, let me go ahead and fix that problem for you right now. Welcome to the stage, Chris.
Wow, I was not expecting that.
I kept trying to get graphics from you. I was going to make like the whole thing, and I didn't just, I had to work with what I had.
Oh, that's why.
That's why I got to hype you up, man.
He was trying to.
You need to be hyped for your work.
Surprise me, and I was like, "Oh, just use the Kickstarter ones." Damn it! Now, next time I know now. I know.
I got to hype you up, man. People need to be hyped for your work.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. You've interviewed me before. Now it's time to do the old switcheroo.
Yeah, I'm on this side of the screen.
This is true. Now you get to be over there.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about a few things in your comic world. First off, your breakout title is called Jazz, which we just showed off. Were you to find yourself at lunch with, let's say, an executive of Image Comics, what would you tell them about Jazz to get them to hop on board?
It'd be a simple "you need it." No, it wouldn't be. I don't know, honestly, because I've never really saw this as like a pro publisher series. Because it started off with ticking all the boxes like a publisher would, but then over time I kind of changed it to be like anti-publisher, so I probably wouldn't even move it towards one.
Oh, that's fair. Well, let's say if we have some listeners who are interested in checking out Jazz, what would you tell them to get them to jump on the next Kickstarter coming from you?
Oh, for the next series of Jazz.
Just Jazz in general. Let's say they hop on your new campaign you got coming out. We're going to talk about that. They're looking around and go, well, I want to see what other things this guy has, so I can find out, what he's about. What would you tell them about Jazz?
Jazz is a mysterious plot point, but it's if you like action, sexy women, and a all-around anti-political stance on government corruption, then that's I'm here for you. I'm definitely here for you. Jazz has a lot of the early 2000s-esque art style and storytelling, so you'll see a lot of attitude, a lot of that old 2K, Y2K neo-punk style that I grew up with. Even a little flair of the old Tanami. So if any of those words get you riled up, you should definitely be reading Jazz.
Well, I hope anyone's here checking out our work, or my work especially, they better like old Toonami. That's the entire thing.
Yeah.
Now, Chris, you've described your work usually as manga. What made you want to work within this format as opposed to Western comic books?
I want to give the old easy answer that because I've read a lot of manga and I felt like I could do it too. But over the last year and a half to 2 years, I've kind of found that my style of storytelling is not it's not at all a Western comic style. It's a lot of the manga style. It has a lot of the emotion to it, and has some of the more upbeat action beats. Everything is told kind of in sagas, and I just felt like that fit better for manga than it did in Western comics. I could do a Western comic. I may soft announce one tonight just because, but you know, that's just it's. Oh yeah, I got some surprises for you too, but no, most definitely manga is just kind of where I'm at in terms of writing style.
Oh, we like surprises around here, so that's totally fair. I think I agree with you on that in a lot of ways. In the indie comic world, creators are often forced to take on a multitude of roles. Anybody out there who backs Kickstarters or talks to any creator, you'll know that they wear every hat that can possibly be worn. Being your own manager, distributor, director, or asset acquisition, in addition to the writing of a comic itself, it's a lot. Chris, where did you learn how to handle all these skills?
Boots to the ground running. I did not realize that I was going to be. I had to do all of this stuff when I first started. I just, for some reason, I assumed that I'd be on easy street and everything was going to be handed to me. And because everything I do in the essence is popular, so I figured, But no, it's every Kickstarter campaign, every tweet, every dialogue, right? Anything I do is a form of me learning how to do it better. So I don't have a how to, because I'm not there yet. But if it looks like I know what I'm doing, great. But I'm just learning about day by day.
That's totally fair. I think a lot of us learned in this world, just like you just said, boots on the ground. You don't know what you're getting into until you're there. People might ask, "Hey, can you do this and this?" And it's like, yeah, you don't know what you're asking. There's a lot that goes into that. That being said, showing up and thinking, "Oh, well, I can just do this too." This is what fate's going to do to you. At you. And I think we've all experienced that a few times. I know I have, and other creators, even the big names, say every now and then, fate likes to point its finger and laugh, and it's going to happen. Now, you've got a new title coming out to Kickstarter, Dream Match Revolution. What is Dream Match Revolution?
Oh, Dream Match Revolution is my direct love letter to the shonen genre. I know that I drop jazz and I put jazz in that same like shonen category, but this is definitely in that Naruto headspace, so to speak. But yeah, anyway, Dream Match is a all women's wrestling story about a rookie wrestler who joins a wrestling promotion, and her only goal is to wrestle her idol who got her into wrestling. And in doing so, she's working against a very mean general manager who instead wants her to just feed the other wrestlers. So she just takes losses her entire career, and she kind of has to realize. Yeah. What'd you say?
So she's a heel.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Think of like early Stephanie McMahon, and so she has to learn what it takes to win, and then she has to learn what it takes to keep winning. It has a lot of drama into it. There's a really big heartfelt message when it comes to wanting your dream and what you're willing to do for your dream. So it has a very heavy handset message, but very good imagery. Like I said, women galore. However, there's not going to be that type of content, and by that I mean there's not going to be what I normally go for in terms of style and writing, due to the fact that we're trying to sell this to a wrestling community, and they don't really do well with the overt sexuality of wrestlers. even though that's what they're seeing on TV. So I kind of have to keep
It's a
it
weird
to
thing
curve.
about that, right?
Oh, it's
With
so
the
weird
guys walk
because
out all oiled up in basically what's just a pair of underwear, and the girls are
right.
walking out in what is apparently BDSM and/or lingerie gear, but somehow any sexuality to it is forbidden from being mentioned.
Oh man, I have to like toe the line, even if I do exactly what TNA, AEW, WWE are doing. They like the people who are online all the time and they like watch wrestling, they kind of shield their eyes, I guess. So I'm it's a new crowd of people. I'm trying to figure out what they like, and it's gonna be a lot of like give and take. So this might be really successful, or it might just fall flat in my face. But I'm here to learn.
Well, that's something about Kickstarter is I think you learn every time, and there's no guarantee unless you're maybe one of a handful of people that have got long, long lineages of credits behind you, and maybe if you wrote a couple issues of the Hulk and the Batman, you might have a better chance than others. But it's not an easy thing to do. I have to ask though, with this being a women's wrestling thing, were you a fan of the game Rumble Roses?
Wait, say it again.
Were you a fan of the game Rumble Roses? Do you recall that?
Yes, it did not play well, but
No,
it
it did
looked
not.
good enough. It looked good enough to make me like keep trying my best.
It definitely, like you just said, that game was not one that was well reviewed, but it was definitely one that had good visuals. That's about
Yeah,
as far as it went. I think if you wanted to play that kind of game, Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball would be the better pick. And I'm curious if you played that one then.
yeah. They even added a one hand option mode on that one.
Oh my god, I did not know that. I remember they seemed to have. I think it was like a butt wrestling mini game you could do where you tried to knock the other girl off the float in the pool using only your
Yeah,
behind.
yeah.
So with
There's
this
always a
being
winner, and it was always me.
That's the idea. I think that's the idea of anything we create, whether it be a video game, a comic, whatever. The winner should always be the person who picked it up, who's opening the
Yeah.
page, who's turning the game on, and potentially getting turned on by the game or the comic, depending. Can we expect any Yuri action in this book? Not necessarily hardcore, just holding hands, the lewdest of all things I know. Kissing, anything like that? Can we expect those kind of things going on? Or is this more of a straight up kind of a friendly rivalry?
There's gonna be a little bit of it because even though I'm trying to bring it to a general wrestling audience, there is still gonna be a manga, and I'm still going to use
the,
that.
the rules still apply that
Oh yeah,
every
yeah,
manga
but
has to have certain
just
things happen.
if I can't have nudity, then so be it. But I will have something like that. Prime example is one of our wrestlers. Her entire goal is to not overtake the main wrestler at number one. She likes to sit behind her in number two in the contender spot, and she uses it as a way to make sure that nobody who is not worthy to wrestle the top. She's that gatekeeper, and it's mainly because she has a really big adoration for the number one. So it's one of those kind of tropes where it's like, notice me, senpai, but I'm also going to be doing all the stuff down here so that you'll never know that it's me just trying to do things for you. I'm trying to serve the queen here, so to speak.
Well, that could create a really good dynamic.
Oh yeah,
And maybe a reader wants to interpret that in a different way, but that's up to them. So that's a pretty awesome thing to do, actually. That's actually very smartly handled.
I'm trying.
So I did notice, speaking of the nudity and stuff you have on there, you described Dream Match Revolution as a T-rated manga. What does the T stand for?
T stands for teen.
Okay. So the teen thing is always kind of a fun little category because teen technically is 13 to 19. But the same content suitable for a 19-year-old is not necessarily suitable for a 13-year-old. So where do you feel that stands? Thank you for joining us, Diablos. Mr. X, everybody, thank you.
Hey, what's going on? Who's that Diablo? Okay. I was like, wait. Okay, so there's like another comment. But yeah, so the teen rating is slippery because I keep this thing in my head where I believe that I have the right crowd of people who understand manga as a whole. And then I also overshoot all the time. I want to say I keep it T because it lets them know that there's a fine line that I'm not going across. I could have said older teen, and that line could have still been blurred, but I wanted to
True,
keep it
very
where it's
true.
like, hey guys, this is adequately available for the exact same rating of people that all the big like promotions want to watch their shows. So like for instance, AEW I think is like uh is it PG, maybe I think it's like PG-13 or something like that. It's
I
not
feel
too
like they
crazy.
blur the lines so much, but at the same time, because they bring in so much money, no one's going to say anything.
Yeah.
Kind of
And
one of those deals.
we can come back to this conversation next year when they're on Netflix, WWE, because I know once they're on there, anything goes.
True.
Which I'll be there for that. But I wanted to like kind of give the imagery that there's a line, and as long as as long as they can see it in terms of rating, I shouldn't have too many issues with getting people to buy into it.
That makes sense. I think that's a pretty safe bet to go with. And I'm going to use that as a segue to today's sponsor of this episode from us. Our sponsor, we're playing their video. This episode is sponsored by Nibble, the comic eating cat. So continue to buy comics, so she can continue to eat them. Buy titties, feed kitties. So, Chris, what have you learned from making jazz that you can apply to Dream Match Revolution?
Jazz was my first big project. It's my baby, and in doing so, I learned how to move an audience or move move the product to the audience that you want and to give them what they want. And Jazz wasn't really perfect at all in terms of when we first released it. There was a big issue because I fell into the pandering method, and I went to like the wrong kind of people who don't necessarily buy the things that they like. So
You well
um
done it.
yeah, and so when I did Dream Match is like a fresh start. So I now get to go from square one. Jazz is in its like fourth chapter, so to speak. But Dream Match is like number one. So now I get to see it from the ground up and make a whole new thing, and vice versa, and kind of get a better idea on how to accrue the right people the first time around. Um, but on that side note, Jazz and Dream Match are in the same universe.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
oh yeah, no, yeah. So and I'll probably mention it later on, but like everything I make is going to be a part of the same
So,
universe
would
for
someone
what.
have to read jazz to understand dream work? Can they just jump right into dream?
Oh, you could jump right to Dream Match. There's no like immediate crossover from the events. There might be a mention of something that probably has happened in Jazz, but it's not something that you need to worry about because they're in like two separate cities.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I'm
to
kind of
speak.
getting like a Batman Superman vibe. Like they're in the same universe, but you don't need to read Batman's comic to know what's going on with Superman.
Right. I there it's just like as of right now, you don't have to focus on it. But when we get further into actually when we finish by the time that we finish Jazz, that's when you'll kind of see that like there was a big overarching story building like right in front of you, but you won't notice it now.
Keep
I'm gonna
planning.
spoil that. Oh yeah. There's Jazz kind of got the ball rolling on a much bigger issue that happens way later. I don't. I'm hoping that I'll still be available to do all these things when we get there.
We're all hoping the same thing, that we're around long enough to see all of our dreams come true, and our the visions as writers that come in our head actually take tangible form. And unfortunately, we've all found it's a lengthy process. It takes a long time. It's almost depressing when you spend a year of your life making a comic and a person reads it in like 4 minutes. And you're like, that was 360 plus days of my life right there.
No. And then they go. So when's the next one?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when's the next one? When's the series completed?
Oh man,
So,
I love hearing that.
yeah, it's the common questions you get. So you use Kickstarter to fund what you do, as many of us do. When somebody backs one of your books on Kickstarter, where are those funds going? What do you allocate them towards?
A lot. As I've been doing this successfully recently, as I had a couple of very bad campaigns the very first few times.
Everybody does,
Well,
unless you're uplifted by somebody with a big name, or you happen to work for, I don't know, IGN or DC or somebody. It's gonna be bumpy at first. There are some
yeah,
people that show up. I met a lady who did one recently, and she did really well. And hers was a lot of very attractive naked guys on it. Like, what the heck? Oh, you're a New York Times bestselling author. That explains it. You know, okay, yeah, you've already got a name. That
yeah,
name is a big deal. Absolutely.
it comes with a check. But no, when you back any of my products, you are paying for the regular shipping of the books. You know, well, the ordering and the shipping and the if I need items. You're also helping pay my artists, which I
That's
pay
a
out of
big one.
pocket. Yeah,
See,
I make
Facebook
sure.
is nothing now but artists saying people are trying to lowball them for like, hey, can you do a comic for like $8 a page? Like,
God, yeah. No, I'll be making a video about that actually, sometime soon, because I've been watching it happen.
I can
But
tell you
yeah,
some artists like Shikari and Dan Olvera would love to see things like that because they're always talking about how they get these very strange requests to do like full length comics or color full length comics. Mr. Olvera just told us today how he got somebody trying to get him to do for $20 a page to color his comic. And don't get me wrong, that price may be applicable for certain skill sets or however long a time it is going to be. But when you are someone who colors on a professional Western comic level, that is no longer.
yeah, no, it needs to be up.
It's going to
Ash
be exactly.
Ash would beat me up if I ever said I'll do $20 a page.
That gets us usually. Tell us about the team you work with.
Yeah, so me writer, me creator of Christyle Incorporated. It's not actually incorporated. Do not try to sue me. Um, and then my artist is actually my friend, Ash Kahari.
Okay.
We were friends primarily about a year before she got on to jazz as the artist. But yeah, no, it's just us two really. It's like I don't have a big team. Ash is my editor when it comes to like getting scripts, and she's the storyboardist. She does the lettering. She does the coloring on the outside. She does the screen toning on the inside. So she's the John Henry in my team, and I'm just there writing scripts and going done. My hands are clean. I had nothing to do for the next few months.
If it makes you feel any better, I started the exact same way with Sayako Rush. I just wrote the scripts and she would go through it, and if she didn't like anything, she'd tell me. We'd make changes and then she would draw it and we'd go it. And I think that's how a lot of creators are going to start. Is you're going to start with just a small group, maybe even doing everything yourself if you can draw. I can't. I'm presuming you can't either since you're not drawing.
You haven't been on Twitter recently.
Oh, you starting to draw, are you?
Yeah, last weekend I finally did it. I went back to my middle school roots, and I was like, hey, let me just go ahead and try again. And so far, I've been having fun. I don't know. I think I might do something.
The first step to getting good at something, I think, is enjoying it.
Yeah.
In most cases, I mean, we can all get good at things we don't enjoy, but it's just double-edged sword at that point. Chris, if you had an unlimited budget and no restrictions whatsoever, what kind of content would you make and what kind of story would you make? Would you just take one of your books now, make a full live anime, or would you make a movie? What would you want to do? Money and time are no object.
I don't
No
know
object whatsoever.
I don't know if I wouldn't do a movie, but I would move my series to some form of animation at least. Unlimited money, yeah, I definitely just move it to a whole animation and just pay it all out.
I think most of us would.
Yeah, because it's like they can take like half my book and stretch it out to a whole thing. Or I would do the Cowboy Bebop thing and be like, here, I gave you 5 chapters and then I'm done. So I need filler, but it needs to be like good filler in the middle of all the actual stuff in the book, and go like that.
I would be willing to argue that the best series are the ones that are usually short. Not always the case, but knowing when to bow out, I think, is definitely a skill set. And there are certain shows that knew, like Bebop's a great example. Bebop knew when to bow out. It was like, all right,
Right.
we told a story, we're done. We mean, because Bebop could, in theory, tell infinite stories of adventures of the Bebop crew. But they went, no, we did our episodes, we got our stories handled, we're done. Let's step. I think that's great. But then you have series like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood that go on forever, but never stops being good. That's definitely a hard piece of lightning to capture in a bottle there. Mr. X
No.
says like an OVA.
Yeah, totally that. It would be like 12 episodes long. I would even make it like, something crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty great though. So, Chris, where can people go to find more of you and your work? We don't do a long show here. We make it nice and simple for everybody. Nice, digestible, while sitting down having dinner. So, where can somebody go if they want to find you?
Depends on who they are. So I'm on Twitter at Christyle Inc. It's right there on the screen here. I'm on Instagram, same thing, Christyle_Inc. I think I'm on like every social media page just because they were coming out like gangbusters like last year. But
Yeah, because everybody, I think after Twitter changed, I know for us, most of I've talked to told me it's just tanked in engagement. Artists don't get seen there anymore. Everybody's looking for that new thing. It's just everything that pops up lasts for what, a week, a month before I don't hear about it again.
Blue Sky was nothing ever in its whole totality. But yeah, no, you can find me now. I'm more active on Twitter for the time being. So that's probably where I would most likely, if you wanted to like engage with me and get something back, that's probably where I would go for that.
Makes sense. So next up, I'm going to ask you a few more questions here. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, you receive the Green Lantern's ring. You are the new Green Lantern of Earth. But there's a caveat. You can only use the ring to summon one of the Golden Girls to fight for you. Which one do you summon?
Betty White.
That's the best answer you can give right there. There you go.
I got the answer wrong?
No, you can't. You can't get that. Technically, you can't get that answer wrong, but that's definitely a strong answer. I'm totally stealing that from Teen Titans Go, as there is an episode where Cyborg gets Green Lantern's ring, and that's what he does, is summons the Golden Girls with it. And I'm still confused as to who the target demographic of that show is based on that one episode.
It was for us.
It had to be, because the 10-year-olds this show is made for don't have any idea what the Golden Girls are. The next one I'm going to ask you is cats, dogs, or yes?
Cats?
Cats, you say?
Well, am I like, is it like a preferred meal or?
No, we're not eating them. I mean, no, which ones do you prefer to be around, cats or dogs?
I mean, cats like leave you alone. I figured that was gonna come right up. I was like, cats. Oh, here it comes.
So the last thing I'll bother you with tonight is, as a man from Indiana, and I'm asking this because a colleague of mine is from Ohio that has a similar reputation as Indiana. What's your opinion on corn?
I'm gonna have it tomorrow.
From what I understand, Indiana's just corn and basketball.
It's so much more than that. But like anybody who is not educated on anything just always says that. But it's so much more. It's like it's corn and basketball and 15-year-olds with guns at the gas station.
Not that different than Florida, then, outside of no corn, not really basketball, more college football in this part of the country.
It's more college football, maybe college football drinking.
Yeah. I would argue that it's often said that college football is a religion in this part of the country, and no, it really is. I mean, just you'll see people with their entire car painted gator orange with flags all over it, and you'll see that about every day.
Hate to see it.
I don't have a college affinity, so I can't say. So for those of you who haven't seen it yet, I'm going to show off a little more what Christyle's work looks like. You need to go check him out. Dream Match Revolution is coming to Kickstarter. When's your launch date for that, Chris? Do you know?
No. I have it painted as fall 2024. So at the most, you're looking at late September, early to mid October. So just kind of in that wheelhouse. But it's almost here.
Almost here. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to toss your link in the chat here. People to go sign up for that pre-launch. You have backed 72 comics so far, 72 projects on Kickstarter, which is impressive. Thank you for that. I will tell everybody outright, if you're a Kickstarter user or a creator, and if I go to look at your book and it looks really cool, and I see you have backed 0 other projects, I immediately peace out. We're done because you're not part of the community at that point. And you are part of the community, sir. We appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
I'm going to send your link in here to the chat for people to check that out. Hop in there, guys. Give it a follow. That book looks really good. The art looks really cool. I like the covers. I love the girl with the dark hair, and I love the outfit on Blondie there. That looks really nice.
If you pull it up, I'll do you a solid and like explain who's who.
I don't know how to do. You asking me questions now I wasn't prepared for. I don't know how to do that.
I flipped it. Now it's my interview.
Yeah, I didn't have anything prepared for that. I'm afraid I'm still a novice at this one. I don't know how to do that yet. I'm sorry, but they can go over there and find that out. Do you want to talk about some of the characters really quick? If you want to be my guest.
Yeah. So to anybody who clicked the link, and like I have mine up right now. The character in the middle is of course the main character. That's Faith Stone. She's in her rookie stage in this story. In the next chapter, she gets her actual official kit, and she gets like a whole new like outfit change and like an actual wrestling name. So and my daughter's walked in here. So she's just shouting down the hall at me. I'm like, I'm busy. So that's
kids do.
Yeah. So that's the main character. Yeah.
I figured it out.
Oh, you got it. There you go. Now I can cut mine down. So yeah, middle character is Faith Stone. The blonde character to the right is our champion. Her name is Luna, and then the character to the left is Boycott. Boycott.
So our champion's Blondie. Grind meat on my abs right there.
Yeah. Yes. She's not gonna have most of that when we get to the actual like interior. That's
there's a lot of. If you even notice, even Western comics, they'll show. I usually use Superman as an example. Where on covers he has this great detail to his clothing, his attire. And if you open the book, it's not quite as like. Well, yeah, because it would take 6 months to draw that.
Just to do that, yeah. No, and that's the Mr. Joe the Cub did that. He's done most of my not safe for work covers. So he's spicy. Very unhappy that he can't do that for like this series. Like he's very sad about it.
Spicy artists do in fact love the spicy. They're all about it.
Yeah, I might ask him like, here, man, just draw it for me and I'll keep it in private. But
well, what you do at that point then is you just say you could just make it a free digital download if they say they're over 18 on the surveys, and hey, here you go. Thanks for supporting.
That's a good idea. I might add that in there. That's actually not a bad idea.
We're here to make people happy, man. All of us are.
Yeah. So that's her, and then Boycott on the left. That's number 2. Who's trying to gatekeep number 1. So
it's her hair. I love her hair.
Oh, the fringe look. So she
it looks really good.
She has a Asian background. She doesn't speak English.
That was into my type. Yeah.
So she's like very, very menacing. Think like Rhea Ripley. She's very menacing, but she only speaks Japanese. So
I have to ask now, based on that, have you ever seen Black Lagoon?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Did you watch it in English or Japanese?
English.
Okay, the Japanese one, when they go to Japan, they've been speaking Japanese the entire show. This makes me think this character, which doesn't speak English. Where they go there, and of course the show was originally dubbed in Japanese. Right. And Remy comes to Japan, and someone puts Japanese to her, and she says in what is clearly not her native language of English, and goes, "I don't speak no stinking Japanese," and then goes back to Japanese immediately. I'm just thinking of that right now, like, oh, okay, that's great. That was one of the best things the show ever did.
See, now I have to go back and watch it in Japanese, but
a little fourth wall humor, I guess, maybe there.
But no, she's very much aggressive, but when she speaks to people, nobody really like understands what she's saying. So she has a really good, like, sexy, aggressive look to her, and I really like that. It's you're a little of the dummy mommy going on, but not overly done. Yeah, that's exactly what the note was, like 100% like that. So you're gonna like her in the very first chapter. She doesn't have like an actual like big role, but she is there as a setup for the very next chapter. But she was my favorite character in development, and I got mad about it because I was like, fuck, I hope I don't fall in love with her. There's other characters that are in this book there's another cover that's not in this trio that features a redhead character.
Ooh.
So we got all types of just different anythings for everybody. So you will not find your favorite. Like, you will find one if not two.
I like that. That sounds like actually, I'm looking forward to reading this book. I'm definitely picking it up. You guys out there, you should too. If you haven't seen Christyle's work, well, you have now. Hop on there and check out Christyle's work. Sign up for Dream Match Revolution, guys. If you haven't done it yet, you need to. I can vouch for his work. It's good. And if you haven't checked out Foxxy Vacations yet, if you are here from any of my work, you need to check out Foxxy Vacations 2024, because this will be the only time the book ever gets printed. It is being printed only for Kickstarter as we move on forward to story-focused books moving forward with our new series, The Manticore, coming out later. And as I promised, there is a sneak peek of something very, very spicy coming to that book this week, because of National Airborne Day on the 16th. So we have something spicy.
You've seen the signs, the writings on the wall. Our time has come.
You'll see the full thing of that available this week. And Chris, anything else you'd like to say today, sir?
Someone said I love jazz in the comments, and I've just been staring at it for the longest time because I'm like, thank you. I feel very happy that they're seeing that.
I stole that line from somebody else. It was, I think, Team 4-Star had it where then Frieza shows up and Goku's fighting, takes his shirt off, and Frieza stops and goes, "My goodness, you grabbed meat on those abs." And yeah, Dragon Ball Z characters, yeah, you definitely could.
I need to go watch that again. That's what I'm doing tonight.
It's hit and miss, but when it hits really well.
Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun. Yeah, exactly. I do agree with that.
Well, guys, what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and sign off. I'm going to play a nice little new thingy we made. Coming up next from Astro Ticket Comics will be Pure Intent #3 combined with Mistress Azumi's Adult Lessons #3. And what I have is a better announcement about that. I finally got permission to release Mistress Azumi's Adult Lessons in a digital format. So there will be a triple pack of all 3 issues available digitally come Pure Intent issue #3, which will come in January of next year. We're going to do it this year, but we're going to wait. And Chris, you're going to launch, you said, in September-ish?
Yeah, September, October-ish.
Okay, we will see you then. I'm excited to see that, man. I'm very excited to see it now after knowing more about that. I want to see more of this girl on the left over here. So that's what we're going to do. This show is pretty short. I'm not going to take up a whole day, several hours. We're playing our outro. Guys, thank you. If you haven't checked out any of our comics yet, then I don't know what is wrong with you. You need to go check them out. And I will remind you all very gently that when you buy independent comics, people like Mr. Christyle Inc. over here or myself, what you are effectively doing is putting food on our tables. You are feeding our artists. You're feeding our kitties. You are doing a lot of great things. We don't have superhero comics because you are the superhero of our comics. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a great night, and we will see you again very soon.
We won't be intimidated by criminal threats.
Show us what you got. I'm gonna knock you all on your asses.
Never run from a real fight. If you don't stop, you'll get us sued.
Welcome to the future. Transferring to autopilot mode.
It's confirmed, milady. We're under attack.
So it begins.